Hey guys, Walter with the Black Film Guild. Today I have a really cool review. I got some gear in that I'm really excited to show you guys. The first being the Pocket 6K from Blackmagic Design with the EF mount on there. I've been shooting with it for about a week. I took it up to London recently, got some really cool shots. This thing is phenomenal. Bang for buck, price-wise, this is probably my favorite camera. I've only been using it for a couple weeks. I'm thinking this is gonna probably be my favorite camera. The small form factor, the beauty that this thing shoots, and then paired with my favorite lens, the 28 millimeter f1.4 Zeiss Otis. It's my favorite lens and it's super heavy. And I want to shoot with this particularly with a gimbal, and that's where this other kind of cool product came in. So a company called FeiyuTech, they ended up sending me a gimbal they wanted me to test out. It is called the AK4500 standard kit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be opening this up, running it through the mill, seeing what it's all about, and then I'll see if I can give it a recommendation for you guys if you guys are interested in a gimbal. The cool thing about this gimbal is that it's way cheaper than some of your gimbals that it's competing with, like the Ronin gimbal. So it says that it can hold quite a few kilograms of weight. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Blackmagic Design 6K on there with the Otis and see if it can handle it and see how the quality is on this. So let's go ahead and test this thing out with these two paired up, and let's see what we get from it. Right, left. All right, hold on a second. We got some issues here. So we got right's good, left's good, but I'm having trouble with up and down. Oh, maybe this is why. So yeah, up and down is not really working very well for some reason. So I had my Zeiss Otis on here, and I was really trying really hard to get this thing to work with the Otis. And it wasn't working, so I think it's a weight issue with the Otis. Maybe the lens is too heavy, which is unfortunate because the weight limit on this is pretty high. So it's unfortunate that it's not working. So I'm going to go ahead and try it out with the Canon 24-70 L2 and just see if it works with that because the Otis wasn't working. So all I'm going to do now is just adjust this. And I can already tell you that this is, let me remove the lens cap actually, and I can already tell you, before this was not going backwards, so yeah, this is going to be easy to balance now. So this is going to be really, yeah, nice. Okay, so just lock it in there, even there, pretty good there. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. All right, unlock it. Right looks good, left looks good, up looks good, and down looks good. There you go, guys. So it's working great. And the reason why I was struggling is because I had the Zeiss Otis on there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually test out the, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna test out the Otis, and I'm gonna see what the weight of this camera with the Otis is and seeing if it actually goes over the threshold of what this AK4500 max threshold is. If it doesn't go over the threshold, then that's an issue because this combination should be working. I didn't know that there was a lens kind of weight limit, but it does work great with the Canon L and the Blackmagic Design 6K camera, the EF mount camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out with this camera and see how it kind of runs, but unfortunately I won't be able to use the Otis with it. So let's go ahead and see what's going on. right, so what I ended up doing right now is I looked up the maximum payload for this 4500, which is what I was really excited for, because this is really what I was going to be using this thing for. And here's a scale right here. Is that I wanted to see if I could use this combination of the Blackmagic Pocket and the Zeiss Otis. So I tried out the combination on the system, but it kept failing. It wouldn't hold up the lens. So the lens must be too heavy, or maybe the system it can't support the front heavy lens, because this is a heavy lens, but it's under the threshold. This is a 4.6 kilogram system, which is about 10 pounds or so. And I don't think that this combination is 10 pounds. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off this lens, this Canon L lens, and then I'm gonna put back on the Zeiss Otis onto this camera, and I'm gonna just weigh it just to see with everything on there. You know, I'm gonna keep on the lens hood. I'm gonna keep all that on there. See what's going on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect this. All right, so this is the package that I was gonna put on here, and I'm gonna zero this out. See what the weight shows here. It's completely on there. As you can see, it is 2.498, so roughly 2.5 kilograms. And you can go ahead and see that it's all on the scale. Nothing's hanging off, it's all on the scale. And we have 2.5 kilograms roughly. And the system's supposed to support 4.6. So after a great time with this gimbal, after a great time with the Blackmagic 6K, what are my thoughts? Well, to start off, I want to say I had a great time with both the gimbal and with the lens and with the body. And I have some pretty comprehensive thoughts about the whole thing. So to start off with the combination that I ultimately wanted to use, the Blackmagic Pocket 6K and the Zeiss Otis lenses combination, using it on the gimbal, the FeiyuTech gimbal. As you guys know that I had some issues with it, I ended up contacting FeiyuTech to talk to them about it. And what happened is that I actually ended up turning up the threshold, and it actually ended up working pretty good. Now, it did have some, not necessarily struggles, but it didn't perform the same way as it did with a lighter lens, which is expected. So what I ended up doing is I actually ended up using the L series lens, because it seemed to have a little bit more versatility. It seemed to be a little bit more agile. And the video footage that you actually see in the sample footage that I took was actually with a combination of a Sigma Art lens, which is a lot lighter, and then also the L series lens. So I ended up using lighter lenses to go along with the gimbal, which ended up working great. And I didn't end up using the Otis lens, just because I didn't feel like I didn't have the same type of flexibility and mobility and fluidity using the gimbal as I would with the lighter lenses. But overall, I just want to say that with the combination of using the Blackmagic 6K with the gimbal, it was perfect for my needs. You know, for me, I'm more of a run and gun shooter. I don't necessarily need all of the newest technology when I'm shooting. And so with the FeiyuTech, there's so many things that this thing can do that I didn't even end up using because it didn't really meet my shooting style. So there was one thing that I thought was really cool that I didn't actually use because I don't see myself really using it, but they actually have a Bluetooth mechanism where you can actually control the gimbal, which is really cool. I didn't end up using it, but if you wanted to use that, just know that that type of capabilities is available to you. But ultimately, what I wanted to tell you guys is that the combination is pretty amazing. For one, the 6K, the Blackmagic 6K camera is one of the most cinematic cameras that I've ever used. I'm gonna put it up there with the Mavo LF. I don't really shoot on red, so I can't really talk about red cameras. But I would be interested to see people do a comparison between the 6K and the red camera and a Mavo LF, and to have similar grades, and then see if the actual user on the back end, or the person who's viewing it, can actually tell the difference. That would be a really cool thing, because this camera only costs a couple $1,000s versus, you know, tens of thousands of dollars. But more or less what I'm trying to tell you guys is the gimbal gets a thumbs up for me. I don't recommend using it with a higher payload like the Otis. It does work, but in my experience, using a lighter lens, you're going to get better results. So using the art lens and the L series lens, the gimbal gets 2 thumbs up from me. So I definitely recommend this gimbal. And as far as the Blackmagic 6K, it's definitely going into my arsenal. It's definitely going to be something that I use. And I'm excited to use all these new tools in the future. So again, I just want to give a shout out to FeiyuTech for sending out the gimbal. I want to send a shout out to just B&H for just continuing to be great partners in shooting and in gear, and just like loaning gear out. So thank you to all the partnerships that made this video possible. I really appreciate it. And for you guys out there, if you have any questions about any of these products, let me know. Also, I'm going to leave links in the descriptions below if you're interested in purchasing any of these products below. But again, please just like and subscribe, and just let me know what I can do differently, or what you guys want to see in the future, and I'll try to make that happen. But until next time, keep shooting, and I'll see you guys again here soon.